Ryan Fleming can help you chart out a course for your retirement with his intimate knowledge of financial planning and the airline industry. It's time for the Pilot's Advisor.
Well, hey, welcome to another edition of the podcast. Great to be with you. Walter Storholt alongside Ryan Fleming, and we've got a great show on the way for you today. We're going to be talking about how you can be aware, if you are an investor out there, of some of the red flags that you should be on the lookout for when you're picking an advisor. This will be a fun conversation to go through with Ryan. Ryan joining us from Japan today. Ryan, you're so far away, but the magic of technology, it just feels like you're right here with me in the room. So I'm excited to talk to you again.
Yeah, we're just hanging out here at the Swiss Hotel, which many of my fellow FedEx clients and listeners will know exactly where that is. I'm in the city of Osaka, Japan. And my whole reasoning for doing this is Walter always makes me wake up super early when I'm back on East Coast or Central Time, like 6 a.m. So now I'm figuring out, well, you know, if I'm 11, 12 hours off, it's 9 p.m. here. And what a great time to do a podcast.
That's perfect. Did you get some dinner in you first, at least?
Well, I got my workout in, and then, of course, when I'm here in Osaka, I like to eat way too much gyoza because the gyoza is so good. So I got some gyoza earlier today. I don't know if I'd call it dinner, but I earned it, though, because I hit the gym. I got my 10,000 steps in. I got a lot of work done, and now I'm podcasting.
That's awesome. A full day, no doubt about it. And it sounds like you're fueled up and ready to go. So let's jump into some of these red flags. And this will be applicable if you are, hey, maybe you're already working with an advisor, but maybe you are searching for an advisor to work with for the first time, perhaps as you prepare for retirement. Well, we've got 5 red flags that we're going to give you on today's show to be on the lookout for. Why these things might be something that should give you some pause before proceeding in a relationship with that advisor, and maybe some of the solutions to how you can find somebody that can indeed help you with some of these missing pieces to make sure that you're working with an advisor who goes above and beyond to work in your best interests. So first red flag on the list today, Ryan, break this one down for us. What if you go in and you meet with an advisor who works with people of all ages and all levels of wealth? I mean, that to me sounds very welcoming and very nice. Why would that be a red flag?
Yeah, a red flag, and I want to get all the pilots focused in on what we're talking about. And on airplanes before you fly, they have the remove before flight red flag. And so we want to remove these before you actually work with an advisor. And if an advisor works with all people of all ages, they don't have a specific niche that they know, and they're going to have to learn everything about every single one of those people. And I would call that a red flag because they probably don't know your industry, and they probably don't know your life situation very well. And I think that's something that we have that is a little bit different from other financial institutions working with pilots. We live your life. We know your life. We know your 401k. And it's funny because I've actually had many, many times where I've had a friend, financial advisor, reach out to me so that I can explain to them what's going on in our 401k plan and all the little nuances and things to take advantage of. And if I had a financial advisor that was reaching out and asking other advisors of how it works, that'd be a red flag for me as well.
Yeah, it's a little bonus red flag for you, absolutely. So you like to see a little bit of specialization in the phase of life that you're in, or in your case, Ryan, kind of both that side of the equation and also specific to an industry. So you've got kind of a couple of different ways that you specialize and zero in on the kinds of folks that you help out with. And I think that's very wise to think about.
Absolutely. And, you know, me being an advisor to pilots, I'm much better at what I do and much better at my craft because I know it so well. Other advisors that have been mentors of mine, or other advisors that I see that are very successful in the field, specialize in dentists or doctors or NFL football players. And once you do that, you really understand their life that much better, and you can help give them as much service and a more holistic planning than you could otherwise.
All right, how about this one? Another red flag would be an advisor who tells you only good news about your financial situation all the time. I mean, it's nice to hear good news all the time, Ryan, but probably not painting a realistic picture.
Well, I talk to my wife about this all the time. Life is not unicorns and white picket fences and, you know, rainbows every single day. That's just not the way it is. Now, she'd tell you that I'm pessimistic when I say I'm a realist, and I think, you know, I appreciate that she's very positive. but I like to see things for the way they are. And I think if an advisor says everything's good and hunky-dory out there, they're doing you a disservice. I call it tough love. Unfortunately, with many of my clients, if you're going to work with me, I'm going to tell you the way it is. I actually had a conversation with a prospect yesterday, and he's been basically ignoring the reality that's out on the horizon. He currently lives the lifestyle of a airline captain and lives a very good life, has a nice income, but he's in for a drastic change of life in the next 10 years if he doesn't get focused and start focusing on his retirement.
It's great to see that you kind of can be that tough love coach, if you will, from time to time. It's like when I think a lot of us, played some element of sport growing up, and probably very similarly, you have those coaches that kind of never really critique you or telling you what you're doing wrong. I bet you were more successful as an individual and as a team when you had that coach that was going to push you a little bit and point out where you had some, inefficiencies in your game and where you could improve and those kinds of things. You want that in your financial advisor as well. They can still do it in a friendly way, right, Ryan? You're not going to be mean to somebody, but hey, you're going to say, you got holes in your plan here.
Yeah, I'm not going to be mean about it, but I'm going to tell you the way it is. And if you're looking for somebody to lie to you, I'm probably not your guy. And when you're talking about the sports thing, I can totally relate to that. And they always say, when your coach stops yelling at you, that's the time to get nervous.
Oh, very interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, another red flag here would be an advisor who uses a lot of technical jargon that you don't understand when talking about your financial situation.
This one's great. Pilots are very type A personalities and actually are very, very intelligent humans. However, I always joke around that I write my books to pilots with big old fat, thick crayons that you had in kindergarten. And I joke about that, but it's one of those things. There's a reason why I have a job, and we can get into the weeds with some individuals, but really it's explaining a plan or explaining something in a much more simplistic way so that we can all understand it. I try my best to relate it to either sports or something that has something to do with the airline industry, because all pilots understand that. So I think if you have an advisor that's trying really hard to sound smart or is unable to explain things to you in a manner that you can understand, it's probably not really helping you out to visualize and see your plan.
Great points all across the board on that one. And I mean, using the technical jargon is not the worst thing in the world, right, Ryan? But if it's used without any explanation, that's the big concern, I would think.
I would agree.
Hey, if you're ready to have clarity and thrive in your retirement, you're in the right place, and I've got another resource for you to check out. Go to retirepilots.com and look right there on the homepage. You'll be able to click Get My Free Toolkit. What this is going to do is help you get for free Ryan's Retirement Toolkit. This is going to include his 2 books, The Pilot's Advisor and Pilots Retire Early, revealing the 9 critical decisions when retiring and the 7 lessons to save your retirement. Not only does it include the books, but lots of other goodies packed into this free toolkit that'll be sent to you ASAP. It's a great starting place for any pilot to begin their retirement journey. Go to retirepilots.com. Another one here, an advisor who seems to have a high level of certainty about what's going to happen in the market in the immediate future. Well, I know just from doing this podcast with you, Ryan, you're a little bit on the other side of that fence.
Well, sadly, we can't predict the future. And I think you need to invest knowing that the future is totally unpredictable. And if you're doing anything otherwise, or you're telling your clients you know exactly what the market's going to do, you're lying to them. Nobody knows. And the future is one thing that we can't predict. So we need to build a portfolio and manage our emotions and follow all the rules to investing so that we don't hurt ourselves by trying to market time or stock pick of what a stock might be doing. Because ultimately, if we're doing those things, we are going to be speculating and gambling with our money, and we're going to hurt our clients.
All right, well, let's do one more here, Ryan. One more red flag. An advisor who spends more time talking than listening.
Well, what's the old saying? We were given 2 ears and only one mouth.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I think that says it all. I like to listen to what my clients have to say and hear about some of their fears. And then we can talk about all the opportunities to amend those or to fix those things so that they can sleep at night. And I look at that as my job. I mean, is to figure out what is stressing them out, what is causing them to be anxious, and hopefully we can resolve those issues by coming up with a plan and engineering a portfolio that we know can handle the ups and downs of the market or someone's life, like right now, because life's not easy.
No, it's not. And that go back and see point number 3. Life's not easy. That's not the butterflies and rainbows type message. But if we can approach retirement and financial planning with these realities, we can be better for it and put together a better plan. If you've got any questions for Ryan, give him a call at 843-475-3038. You can call or text that number. What's up, Ryan?
No, I just have one other thing to add. And, we're talking about red flags for advisors out there, but I think it's also important to understand red flags if you're a prospect out there looking for an advisor. If you expect an advisor to have positive returns when the market's down 30%, that's very unrealistic. And that's something that an advisor is going to go, whoa, what about this guy? And because, we all want our cake and we want to eat it too, but that's just not the reality and how the market works. And I can explain many, many different situations where I get some email from somebody that's not happy with their current advisor. And I'm reading through the email going, oh my God, this person has very unrealistic expectations. They don't understand how markets work. And I know right away that working with that individual is probably not going to be a good relationship or situation at all. So I think sometimes with anything else, it's nice to look in the mirror and probably analyze what kind of person you are and if you have realistic expectations with your finances.
Well, again, if you're looking to work with an advisor who embodies these kinds of ideals that we've talked about on the show today, and you haven't before, also someone who specializes in working with pilots and those in the airline industry, again, call or text to get in touch with Ryan at 843-475-3038. That's 843-475-3038. Or you can go to retirepilots.com. Contact Ryan through the website, access all sorts of other great resources like the Retirement Toolkit and much more information as well. He's the author of The Pilot's Advisor, and again, you can find more information online at retirepilots.com or check the description of today's show for more information. Ryan, thanks for the help on the show today. Enjoy your time in Japan, get some sleep, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Konnichiwa.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.